Hello and welcome back to another review with me, Kevin from Let's Talk Whisky. It's been a couple of weeks, I've been under the weather, but I'm finally back to having some whisky. I ordered this bottle before I was unwell and I've not been able to open it yet, so I thought today is the best time to get this done. So I'm going to try and open it without making a mess of it, and then we'll get right into what this is and why I was able to, or why I picked it up, shall we say. So we'll try and get the cellophane off and we'll see if we can get a good pop. That's good. Get in the glass. So this here is Living Souls. New independent bottler. They've been bringing out some really cool stuff already. They had a 40-year-old blend. I think they had something called Cadolton 19-year-old. It's got a kind of wee play on some of the words to give us an idea where these whiskies are coming from. This one here is called, it's a blended Scotch whisky. It's 99 in 1 bourbon and sherry casks. It's a blended whisky. The ABV is 46.3%. It's mostly heavily peated. Again, that's another wee kind of play on the words. I'm pretty sure it's non-chill filtered and it's natural colour. I think the bottle shape is really cool as well. I came across this whisky when I was out in one of my kind of local bars that I would go to, and one of the owners who works for Living Souls, Jamie Wilson, I'd seen him, I knew him from the whisky world, and I'd said, "Oh, how are you doing? Really love what you're doing with your whiskies, and really wish you all the best." And he says there's a new release that's going to be coming out, and he was talking about this 99 and 1. So he never didn't want to give too much away, but when he finally did, he told me that this is, majority of it is Ledaig 18 or from Mull, so the mostly heavily peated, I think, is where we're trying to look at that. And there's a 3-year-old grain, so I think it's been a happy accident in what has happened here. So 99 and 1, 99% has been malt and 1% has been grain. So it's a blended whiskey because it's not all malt. There's a little tiny bit of grain within there. Say 46.3% ABV. If we look at Beanston, we look at Bunnahabhain, we look at Ledaig Tullamore, all their whiskies are 46.3% in their core range. So it can only bring us towards what we think this may be, the majority of it, at 46.3%. So for me, I love Ledaig 18. I think it's a phenomenal whiskey. So when I heard this was coming out, he never gave me any relay on the price. He wouldn't give anything that way. I thought that's absolutely fine. I think the whiskey can hopefully speak for itself. I seen it had launched a couple of weeks later, and I picked these up. Picked this up for myself and for Craig, and gave him a gift for his birthday. So this is the first that I've been able to actually try it, and I'm really, really excited because I love Ledaig. I'm trying to tone down to just let this whiskey do what it is, because there's going to be a little bit of grain in there, and it might take a little bit off it. But there's only one way to find out. See, this has been sitting in the glass, non-chill filtered, more natural colour. The colour of it, I'm going to say, there's a bigger sherry influence than there is a bourbon influence on this, or it's been a more active sherry cask. The colour we're coming off here is definitely towards the sherry side. It does look like the Ledaig 18 on its own right. It's beading quite well. The colour of it there, it's sticking to the side of the glass, things that I really like to see in a whisky. But I think the thing we need to do now is get this on the nose and get it on the palate and see where this takes us. Is this going to be good whisky? I'll get into the price after it. Let's get some nose, get some notes on this. I know it says mostly heavily peated. I get that kind of little bit of peat, and I think this is going to be one of those ones that I've had before where the peat's hiding in the whiskey and not on the nose. There's a jammy note to it, like a little bit of fig, a little bit of seaside salt. It's maybe that wee kind of ashy note on the nose, that little bit of ash, and maybe kind of bacon rash as well as that tiny bit in there. That would be the kind of salty bacon note, maybe burnt bacon, jammy. It's got a nice nose. I don't get any of the grain in there. I think if I had this just now, it's not got that sweetness of grain as of yet. But let's try this on the palate. I'm excited for this one, so slange everyone. It's still chewy. It's fresh at the same time. It's got viscousness, is that even a word? Viscousness to it. We'll add that to the dictionary if it isn't. It's staying. It's not massive peat. Is that due to the fact that I've just opened it and I've not really let it breathe yet? There's a little oiliness coming through in the nose now. It's starting to kind of open up a little bit more. The ashy, kind of bacony salt note and jam is staying there. It's staying long on the palate as well. It's one of those ones that, I say it's quite a lot. You don't have to return to it to keep chasing flavour. The legs on it now. Definitely taken to the glass. That is magic. So there we go. Start to open up. That Pinot's coming through. That saltiness, that tiny tint of salt is coming through as well. It is staying. It's more like dried fruit now. It's not that kind of fresh jam. It's more of a dried fruit coming through. Staying ashy, staying peaty. Sherried notes. You can tell it's got a little bit of age to it. You can tell this isn't the young one. It says there's 3-year-old grain in here, and there's majority of it's 18. You can tell it's majority 18. It's got that just really good mouthfeel to it. For me, the bottle, I am a huge fan of the bottle shape, of the branding on it, of the artwork and everything. I think it's eye catching for me. And when this got delivered, I'd seen it was a Dunkeld whiskey shop. I seen they'd put it on Instagram, and I reached out straight away and picked up two. One for me and say one for Craig. They don't try and hide things from it as well. So just to kind of go through, I'll just pick a little bit out here just now. This release is a phenomenal, in brackets, 3-year-old blended Scotch and came about due to an happy accident. With a hint of grain, met a heavily peated island malt. That peat's starting to come through now. And this is when they're getting into their tasting notes. Imagine yourself in a vibrant spice market and enveloped in rich sherried fruitness and smoky aromas. Its air's alive with dried orange, chili flakes, and spicy black pepper. Each sip draws you deeper in sensory journey. A touch of sea salt, tobacco, and white pepper adds sophisticated depth, making each moment a memorable taste. And I think I get the sea salt. I'm maybe getting a little bit of tobacco from it just now. The fruitness that I'm getting is kind of more of a dried fruit side to it. I think this is magic. This was £55. And see, from my first interaction with this whiskey, I'm really happy I've got it in for that price. Ledaig 18 is phenomenal, but this, for me, this could be my substitute now. If this is going to be core range and come out consistently, I don't think it will, because it's a 3-year-old grain's been added to a cask and it's been an accident that this, once it's gone, it's gone. So I think I maybe have to buy myself another bottle and just keep that sitting at the side. I'm optimistic that this will open up to be something even better than I think it is just now. I'm loving the nose. I'm loving the colour. I'm loving the taste. For the colour, it is not a deep sherry bomb. And it looks like it might be, but it is definitely not for me. It's not got that deep sherry notes. It's staying on the lighter side. Yeah, it's good. It's great. I love it. I'm a big fan. I think I'll need to go and look for another one, and have it just sitting as my backup, because this is, if you're at festivals and things and you see it, definitely give it a try. If you're looking for something under £60, this is probably one to go for, is what I think anyway. I've just done this video. I've literally just had, I think, 8 people in my little flat that I live in here. People from the whiskey community, the Barflies chat. We took a picture. and that's going to be right at the end. From everyone that was in, sharing some whiskey and some stories. It was a great time. So a good time to do a whiskey review, and also having some friends around as well from all over the world, from North America to Paisley is the other one. But I'm going to go and sit back. I need to go and drink a little bit more of this here and finish this off and really take it in and see what is going on. But it's been great so far, this whiskey. Brandon's great, price is great, whiskey's great. What more do we want, right? But again, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging about. I know I've not been here for 2 weeks, but hopefully that's me over everything now, and I'll be more consistent again and coming back and getting reviews out there. So, as always, join me next week. Let's talk whiskey. Slange.